I mean,
Alright,
again, he
new recording
literally
started.
can't invoke
Um,
socialism. So I guess the question is, would you prefer it if Mamdani said, "I'm a social democrat and I'm here to do social democracy," even if in his heart he is a socialist, but he's doing the most that he can? Or would you prefer him to say, "Look at what I, as a socialist, have to offer you. Through policies that
I
I
have to win
advocate
in
for,
ranked
I can
knockout to
reduce
get a
your
kudos
cost of
crown.
living. I can make this city better." Now imagine what I could do. Imagine what we could do with more
And I'm
power.
going to be playing a
Like
lot of
the
ranked
mayor now.
knockout. It shouldn't be a
Imagine if
problem.
somebody calling themselves a socialist was president.
I have
Imagine if
13
we
days
were
to do
capable of
this.
making decisions beyond the
I have
municipal.
less time
That to me, I
uh,
think the point, right? Like
to finish
most
this.
every politician that gets elected here in the
There's a
United States
weekly
is a capitalist.
where I have
Usually
to win roll
they're really
call,
making an affirmative case for
and
capitalism.
so it's
They
only I
just
only have a
you
week
know,
or so
accept the status
to
quo,
finish
and
this.
people accept what they consider as normal. But for
A
socialism,
few more
it
days, I
represents a
guess.
positive case because it's not the status quo. You have to argue, like, look, this is but a small taste of what we can offer you. This is what
So
our
let's say
ideology would
Friday,
do. You know, plans Mondani has are the city.
January 2nd.
I think the argument's more about the dangers of shifting the public's understanding of what socialism
Okay,
is. I have bad news for you. Already, literally nobody
so
knows what socialism is or what capitalism is. Nobody knows anything. I'm sorry, like
we're
if
gonna
we're worried about like painting the purity of the
yeah, I only have
definition,
like
then
2 days left
that ship sailed.
to
No,
play
I don't think it ever
roll
did
call.
sail. I think that ship was beaten
This
out.
game's stressing me
People
out. I
call the
don't want to play
Soviet
anymore.
Union socialist. No, no, it wasn't. You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't even like
that's
roll call.
so lost. So I don't,
Let's go.
I don't know about the value of
No.
that. That seems like
Uh,
a hopeless battle,
yeah,
to
let's
be
do roll
honest with you.
calls. I was gonna
I
change
think
my
they should just
costume,
do
but
good things
screw it.
and
Let's
call it
go.
socialism. If people associate good things with socialism, then we can do more good things and more socialism. Plus, and grocery programs that he's hoping to have. Tonight, proposed city-run grocery stores, fare-free public transit. A network of municipal-run grocery stores, one in each borough, so 5 in total, would cost the city $60 million. The city is already set to spend more than $140 million subsidizing corporate supermarket chains without any guarantee of affordability from that subsidy. And if we're realistic, those are probably two plans that are more likely to fail than his others. This is a really important thing for possibly. Those are socialist, though, right? I mean, those both essentially entail the decommodification of those industries, right? At point of contact with the consumer. That's definitely like a socialist direction. This of any ilk to keep in mind, as it represents an attack on the left from both sides. On the more obvious end, if Mamdani fails, or to be realistic, whenever he does inevitably fail at something, it will be presented in the cultural zeitgeist as a failure of leftist ideology as a whole, regardless of what favor of left you're buying. We're all just being represented by Mamdani on the main stage right now. Whatever he does is a reflection on us. It's hard to let folks differentiate the left from liberals. Now that someone is ostensibly a leftist is in office, that differentiation is even harder for people. I just don't think this is true. I don't think this is a real problem. I think this is only a problem if your sense of identity and self-worth is derived from disagreement with yours. You know, it just the, you know this is a bad idea because on the far right they're the
Ah,
the far right, notably
are
much
you
more
kidding me?
successful
How
than
did I
the right
manage
wing
to do that?
The
I
far
think
right loves
yeah,
when there's
what I'm
just
not taking
general
into
flow
account
of
is that I'm
ideas that
falling.
uphold the general
Each time that I
spirit
step
of
off one of these, I'm falling a little
they don't
bit.
want to be thought of as Nazis
So it's like
anymore.
it looks like I can
They're
just
like,
step
no,
off and
just
just be on
basic
top of
conservative,
it.
real
But there's
conservative
actually a slight fall, and during that fall,
and because they
things
don't
continue to
appear
move,
they've been
and I don't
really
necessarily
successful at
land where I
taking
think
over
I'm
the White
gonna land.
House. Yeah, I just
All right, only 12 people are making it, but one of them will
already
be
know what it
me.
is.
I
Basically,
think
right? Then what's
I got
socialism?
this. I got this.
I don't think there's really a problem with us doing
All
something
right.
that appeals to liberals because there are 150 million of them in this country.
It's nice to already be one of the final
It would be
12.
a good idea for them to agree with this
That's
direction.
the nice thing about this rollout. The second level is the most difficult because, I mean, other than the final, of course. But the second level is like so boring.
Actual leftist ideology in this country, whether
This rollout level is like torture.
again, this to me seems like it's only a concern if you're really invested in purity testing for the sake of your identity as an immigrant. I just don't. Yeah, this actual leftist thing, I don't understand. advocate for the policies that you care about and make a positive case that the things that you believe in, the ways that you want to govern, improve people's lives. You know, I don't really care about this. Do you see this on the other side? Do you see the neo-Nazis being like, no, by calling it neo-Nazism conservatism and blending the two, you're distorting the real definition of Nazism? Actually, you do see it sometimes, where those are like the most ineffective loser far-right people on Twitter. Like they're mocked for. For example, flags that popped up around from those far. I
was going a little too far down. I had to use that for a shield or for a floor.
Reasonably expect, based on the reality of the situation,
there we go.
Mamdani is going to purge the entire New York government of Zionist elements in a city like New York. That's just not a realistic outcome. But this particular role is something he could have had more control over, and his decision not to remove her is concerning. So, yeah, he could have chosen to not keep her. Of course, he had power, he had authority in this role. So you have to wonder, why wouldn't he do it? This is one of those, what's going on behind the scenes. It seems to me the most likely case for him keeping Commissioner Tisch, even though she sucks, is that he thought that the NYPD would be unruly and belligerent if he replaced her with somebody that they didn't respect. Now, obviously, he has to frame that as him liking her, He can't say, oh, I don't like her, but I'm keeping her on board so the NYPD doesn't revolt under my leadership. For obvious reasons, that would really fly. He's incredibly powerful. I don't think he had to apologize to him on the way to winning the election. I don't think it was necessary.
My statements in 2020 were ones made amidst a frustration that many New Yorkers held at the murder of George Floyd. The campaign that I am asking New Yorkers to consider is one that has been clear on the public safety approach. It's one that speaks about a desire to work with police officers.
And then on top of this, there's rumors about him and AOC. As a general rule, I don't really think you should ever apologize. That was a pretty, that apology was fine. I have heard far worse apologies. More unnecessary ones. I think he should not have apologized for the globalized the Intifada thing. They did not let up on that at all afterwards. It was just a be holding back other progressive candidates, among other things. Coming back after the fact here to say that this was not a rumor, this ended up being actual facts. While it was unlikely that OC.
Okay, I was like, the jump was not what I expected it to be. I don't know why. That's weird.
Details. Yes, you should, because the details are pretty important in this one. This trying to plead his case as to why he thinks that was a deal. I don't really feel him on this explanation, but at the end of the day, it's him being a politician, and that's kind of the whole point. Yes, he is a politician. He is a yes. That
if you jump as you're getting pulled down, it gets you,
This is important to keep in mind because Mamdani is legitimately a paradox. He represents both a huge win for the left.
But see, yeah, he's going to be able to pull off the jump. I don't know, something went wrong with my jump there.
He also presents, I don't think that's a paradox at all. I don't think it's a paradox for a leftist to win an election. I think it's possible.
Fake one.
Having the capacity to speak for feminist, anti-capitalist, and working class central appeals, and as long as it may be, reintroducing the concept of sexual to public discourse on a large scale is a huge deal and would be a big benefit to the actual people of New York that would benefit from his policies. As I've spoken to in a few other election-centered videos this year, the left is simultaneously way far behind in our power in this country while also being more visible, more organized, and more powerful than we've ever been since probably the 70s. Nixon, COINTELPRO, Hoover, and the Cold put the American left on life support by the mid-70s, and Reagan finished the job.
I think the best thing is just to dive back in. Just don't stop. Don't stop until you made a full 1 hour video. And hopefully somewhere in there I'll win.
Left of liberalism as evil or foolish to the point where I assure you there will be people in the comments saying stuff like,
and I'll stop if I die.
You make money on YouTube.
That'll end the video. So I'll end the video with this character's death. Now what I consider death to be is losing on a level earlier than the last level.
Subsequent failures sparked a few embers for those like myself who were left inclined but didn't really have the baseline knowledge to understand the
Now, well, what I would consider a success would be if I could win one roll call today, then I feel confident that I can finish the thing off tomorrow or Sunday. Because I need two. I need to win the roll call twice to do the weekly. And that comes from social media, but it's bleeding into media and now legitimately into governance. But it is moving online in real life. But understand, Mamdani doesn't get credit for that. You do. But that's also the thing we have to guard from. We have to resist the stand moment that is all right, let's go.
Behind it. We have to resist stand culture in general. That's another video. And the thing that makes it real.
Well, I disagree with that. Our only shot at winning power is the right. It's always been that for every that should.
So now it's changing.
Post-social media.
The earlier one, there was no drop, but now there's a drop.
You kind of.
And the drop kind of changes things a little.
The only thing.
Listen, this is very much possible. Instead, I chose my guests for this video representing what I thought were different views of Mamdani because I thought they would be more different.
Being like a hardcore supporter for a candidate does not come at the expense of representing your own power. You're not ceding power to that person. It's the reflection of the fact that the base of support is the power.
Pretty well.
You know, Mamdani wouldn't be able to get anything done and won't be able to get anything done if he doesn't have extremely ardent supporters.
I think I was in the top 20% there.
God, look at how much Trump has been able to do just in
might have been number 4. Yeah, top 20%. Nice.
Everyone has like his crew is ride or die. He's gotten away with so much.
I was very pleasantly surprised to see that they weren't as different as I initially thought.
The standing / cult of personality not come with the dangers of overlooking mistakes by the person? Yeah, sure. But that shit, you just have to take that with the, you just have to try to do well by that. You have to take that with the system, right? You throw your support behind people. You can't give up on supporting them the moment they make a mistake, because if you did that, we will never ever get anything. You just have to be able to critically evaluate if it's still worth your time. There's no like easy shortcut or anything. I'm just saying you can't performatively distance yourself from people who actually get elected because you're afraid of accepting culpability for any mistakes they make, right? Because that's what everyone in elections do. Everyone wants like a perfect center of power. Nobody ever wants to support the person who's actually in office because a person in office makes mistakes.
I saw
and then
video.
Defend that? How do you defend
something
that?
On a video. Don't worry about it.
How do you virtue signal if you're defending pragmatic conduct?
Okay. Here comes the fruit.
And the shutdown. And I grew up.
Alright, this is a perfect position right here.
For the results he's seeking that benefit the people.
Oh, okay. We're in a little trouble here. So now we need to use this as a what do you call it?
Just saying.
Whoa. We need to use that as a floor.
To introduce leftist politics to more people as
Fruit shield.
50 years of disinformation. Also guarding
Strawberry hitting me.
The Democratic Party co-opting leftist ideology to incorporate it into the status quo. Again, never forget that after the rises in 2020, after people marched and burned down stores and we shouted defund the police, they actually increased police funding in cities across the country, mostly Democratic cities, including the former Democratic president. So yes, once again, what I'm getting at is that we have to learn from the mistakes people my age and older made with Barack Obama. And with that, I have just 3 more major keys that I want to present to you all. Number 1, do not give Mamdani a pass because he's dealing with overt racism from Democrats and Republicans. Everybody's being really racist to Mamdani right now, including black people. Acknowledging that this will happen and that it will be blatant and ridiculous along with covert and dog whistling, that is something we should do. We must and should contend with this when it's encountered. Still, it's important not to allow the fact that Mamdani is going to face
we gotta roll off final round with no water between us. I'm kind of relieved there's no water. The water kind of throws things off for me. I mean,
it really triggered the beginnings of what we eventually called Trumpism.
No matter what I do, I still have trouble with it. But
I can understand this, but the point is just be cautious. Yeah, I agree with caution. I just think that at least within some sections of the left, that seems to be the only advice I would. Because I remember this with AOC. Look, I've not really expressed much enthusiasm about AOC now, but I do remember like years and years of AOC getting lots of flack for stupid bullshit that wasn't actually worth criticizing for. You know what I mean? And I just think a lot of it is because you will always maintain a greater degree of moral purity by distancing yourself from any actual consequences of an election than you will by owning it with continued support, which guarantees nothing ever. But yeah, caution's needed. But what about Joy, man? What about Windsor? I'm serious. Like, it's a huge deal. Mamdani beat Cuomo. He beat the Uniparty. It was a massive wave. It's not enough to, well, just remember, okay, politicians aren't perfect. No, we know. But you also have to plant your feet in the ground and take ownership over your victories. You gotta have some faith. Gotta clasp your hands together a little bit. Otherwise, if
There's only 3 guys left. They're doing great.
Then you never, I mean, it's going to be made of it.
By the end of his presidency, black people were supporting the war in Iraq. It was a complete failure on so many levels. And the reason we failed to address it is because while he was in office, he was obviously being bombarded with gross racist ridicule. It seemed wrong under the circumstances to criticize him at the same time. It's the epitome of the failure of identity politics as a core aspect.
By no jumping strat.
So be better here. Know that Mamdani will be subject to constant racism from here on, but also don't allow that to distract you from being critical when he earns that criticism. Again, we will have to engage with 2 truths at once. 2, pay attention to who he empowers and where he compromises and how he compromises.
Like, to me, caution, it means you have to play it in both directions, right? Caution can't just mean wait for every opportunity.
No!
Because if that's the case, why are you being just about? Like, caution is when you need to engage with something, but be careful. It seems to me like the only engagement is a negative. You know what I mean? What about celebrating the victory? Pay attention to who he empowers and where he compromises. I understand that, but you understand what I'm talking about? It's like you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. Yeah, you're priming people to see negativity.
We already have Tish as one red flag. There will probably be others. We need to be ready on
it's a unit to engage with why the Tish pick might have been necessary. I think you could make an argument for or against, but you only made the argument.
Let's go again.
Against, right? That's a
We're just trapped in hell, doing the same thing over and over again.
A promising candidate,
being sad.
Because there will always be compromise.
Let's go.
Decisions. You have to be able to at least.
I agree with Vouch about this stuff.
Ted, each time we see one, in the same vein, to give credit where credit is due, Mamdani.
Okay, maybe I'm preempting negativity.
Also appointed Dr. Derek Hamilton to his Transition Committee on Economic Development and Workforce Development. I'll link the video that Dr. Jared Ball made about it already, but to point out why this is kind of a cool thing, Dr. Derek Hamilton wrote the intro to Dr. Ball's book, The Myth of Black Buying Power, which is one of the more important books I think a lot of black folks need to read, which seeks to help dispel the ideology that buying power and black excellence and black million.
I think white people could read this too. I haven't read it, but I think that we can also read it.
Millionaires and billionaires is what black people need to save themselves.
That's a good conversation.
There's a philosophy that is very dominant and preeminent in a lot of black political spaces that needs to be done.
He's calling out FD.
Someone who's amenable to that belief system be put in such an important role is probably the most radical thing he's done so far. Which I want to be clear, doesn't mean there's nothing to worry about. It just means that we need to continue to be critical and paying attention to everything that he's doing with the power that he's been imbued with.
I mean, basically everyone who's been added to his transition team has been based as hell, right? He's got a goddamn army. I was reading up on Lena Khan, apparently, as part of Mamdani's administration, looking into invoking some, 1960s era anti-price gouging law to try to start smacking New York City businesses with a stick.
Let's go.
As I said with Obama, he purposely began to run to a centrist neoliberal position pretty much the day after he came into power.
I have to pee. That's not good.
That's where things
if I lose, I can at least go pee. But I have to pee, guys. Hurry up. There's no time. I gotta pee.
Leftist things that he ran for. For example, he didn't go.
Guys, I gotta pee.
We had to do so. Obama had to filibuster proof majority for a calendar year, but didn't get the ACA done until
I gotta pee.
after that filibuster-proof status was gone. And he had started capitulating.
I don't care.
Before then, what we ended up with was
That's sort of good. I'm like a little bit relieved when I fall because I'm like, okay, oh, maybe I'll lose. Maybe I can go pee instead of having to keep going. Am I losing on purpose? Just so I can. I think I'm losing on purpose, aren't I? Oh gosh. I'm like subconsciously making myself lose so that I can pee. Oh. Alright, we're gonna win this. We have some chance of winning this.
Yeah, but like Obama literally took a Republican healthcare plan and pushed that. Mamdani didn't take a Republican
No! But I have to pee.
It would be another thing entirely if Mamdani
Can I run to the bathroom now? I don't think there's enough time.
He was just pushing like
oh god,
economic policy or whatever the fact.
I can pee in a cup.
But that's just not really happening here, right?
Seems a bad idea.
It's not what we're looking at, you know?
In my mental state, I'll probably wind up drinking it.
Tonight, a few guys are in Washington, D.C. having a cold one. They discovered to be a partnership messing a police officer from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and the President of the United States.
All that happened.
Wow, I just feel really bad right now.
Is allowing Mamdani to use the excuse, I need to govern to the center or I won't get a second term. No. If he doesn't clearly fight for the promises he made during the campaign without turning them into moderate centrist reforms on the status quo, then he shouldn't get a second term. Period. End of conversation.
I agree. It's just like, damn, he's been so good. We're all being so negative over here. You know what I mean? It's like, no. I get it. I get. When do we get to like talk positively about it? And not just in like, okay, well, to be fair, he did this good thing, but like, I don't know. He seems like really, generally, he's been pretty great. I'm not really advocating for ignorance. I'm saying this is like a disruptive level of preemptive cynicism that actually reduces your ability to properly evaluate his decision making. Like the fact that he didn't bring up potential reasons for keeping Commissioner Tisch. You know, if you can't engage with that reasoning, then it's what if Mamdani does stuff that's absolutely necessary and there's no way you can get around it, but you read it as some compliment towards himself. You know? Like, what if he's doing the best anyone could in his position, and then he gets canceled by the left and he starts to lose support because people online start like writing a bunch of contrarian video essays where they're like, has Mamdani lost the left? Has Mamdani moved to the center? Mamdani. 2025's Obama. Mamdani. 2025 is the new 2008. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
No.
Impossible.
No. I gotta go pee.
You're preempting so much negativity.
Be right back.
People to see this negative and not engage with it. And also, you're dampening the spirit because he can't get stuff done unless it looks like he is a broad-based support. If everyone's catching their bets before, how is he going to get any of this stuff done? You know? Like, when he says, we want free childcare, he needs like a roar, a massive roar of support from New Yorkers. If everyone online's like, he says that, but does he really want it? Then he's not going to be able to get it done at all. I get the feeling he's still getting over Obama trauma. I get that. However, and this is really, really important to keep in mind, Mamdani is nothing like Obama. The point of comparison is the wave of support and enthusiasm. In terms of their policies and how they talk about their policies, they are completely different. Obama never ran as like a super progressive. He wasn't listing out a bunch of crazy policies. He talked about hoping changing lives or getting better, getting better, right? Like, they're not comparable in terms of their substance, only in terms of how people respond. And if you can't, like, you have to be able to distinguish. There is a meaningful difference in research.
It's never not to accomplish everything. But I can expect what is accomplished to legitimately help the working class people everywhere. Lastly, and just thinking myself here, but I can't drive this home enough. Remember that the whole objective and vice versa. For everyone who ran for Mamdani or this campaign that was inspired by his win, congratulations, you completed the tutorial section of the game. The real game starts now. I guarantee, especially in a city like New York, there's plenty more that
This
you
tutorial.
can do. It is
That's so negative.
that do not slink off to the background after this political win, expecting Madonna to just.
Alright, so we're watching Bad Flashpoint. He's doing pretty well.
Pressure him.
Then we got
Create the environment for his-
Malanthus,
It's important.
Melanthius 1417 here. There's also Queen Eel. We got Kay Starking.
The viability of this platform kind of hinges.
No, this is P. Gibbs.
Is actually a part of maximizing the gains.
And Bad Flashpoint. We're back around in the circle. We've seen everybody.
You also have to go after the people who are opposed.
Who's got the strategy here?
Kathy,
Everybody seems to be using the same strategy, which is similar to mine, which is running in a circle.
that he is facing. You need to identify the obstacle. And
Not that much jumping.
failing to- It's only you.
If it's just tweets and video essays,
I'd say it's anyone's game.
I've been repeating a lot lately that I have to credit Dr. Jared Ball for is the fact that
Oh,
it's the people who make the
P. Gibbs.
and the people
P. Gibbs is doing some jumping.
videos about the flawed politics
I think
of folks
P.
like
Gibbs fell in for sure.
etc. And how, as much as we want them to be these
It's Bad Flashpoint.
artists, they very
The
much
winner.
make things pretty
Or is there two
simple.
winners?
That's because
No.
as a people, black and otherwise, we have the environment of struggle influences artists and leaders to become
He actually turned himself into a penguin. The other
we
one.
go back and look at the 60s and 70s and praise people like Harry Belafonte, James Baldwin, Nina Simone, Sidney Poitier, and many others who were pushing a truly radical pro-black agenda in the mainstream media in the 60s. Understand that's because the we have the power in our approval and dollars.
Yay! Alright, that's all, folks. Please like, subscribe, the bell, leave a comment. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Easy. Consider other ways you can still contribute.